She sat across from me at the kitchen table, her fingers trembling as they toyed with the rim of her coffee mug, spinning it slowly, as if stalling could rewrite what had already been done. Her eyes, those same eyes that once sparkled with mischief and warmth, now stared at the dark surface of her drink, hollow and dimmed by guilt. I sat in silence, watching her. She had called me the day before and asked if I could come over, said she needed to talk, but I already knew what it was about. I had known for weeks. The late nights, the lies that didn't line up, the distant kisses and forced smiles, all of it painted a story clearer than any confession could. She had cheated. And now she was here, sitting across from me, trying to stitch together the tattered edges of something she'd torn apart with her own hands. "I made a mistake," she whispered, her voice shaking like a leaf in the wind. I was confused, lonely. I didn't mean for it to happen. I didn't speak, didn't blink. I just stared at her, letting the silence settle over the room like thick fog. She was waiting for tears, for some reaction, maybe a flicker of hope in my eyes that I still loved her, that we still had a future. But the tears had come and gone. That moment had passed weeks ago, the night I found the messages on her phone. She was cautious, yes, clever enough not to leave anything obvious, but not clever enough. The name, the tone, the frequency. It was all there if you knew where to look. And I had looked. I had dissected every word, every emoji, every timestamp, until the truth had cut through me like glass. "He meant nothing," she added quickly, rushing the words as if speed could lessen their weight. "It was stupid. I ended it." I raised my eyebrows at that. Ended it. As if the affair were a casual story arc she could just write out of existence. As if I hadn't lain awake night after night, wondering what I'd done wrong, wondering why it wasn't enough. As if she hadn't taken something fragile and sacred and crushed it underfoot for the sake of something fleeting. "You said you needed space." I said at last, my voice low and even. "You said you were working on yourself." I paused, eyes locked on hers. "Turns out you were working on someone else's husband." Her face went bone white. She hadn't expected that. That detail wasn't part of her script. She didn't know that I had done more than just suspect. I had followed the threads, uncovered the truth. I had even reached out to his wife, a woman just as devastated, just as blindsided. Together, we had filled in the blanks her lies left behind. "I want to fix this," she said, voice rising in panic. "We can go to therapy. We can start over. I'll do anything." That's when I slid the envelope across the table. It made the faintest sound, the brush of paper against wood. Inside were the divorce papers, signed, stamped, ready. I hadn't come here to forgive or reconcile. I came to deliver the final nail in the coffin. She stared at the envelope like it might explode in her hands. Her fingers trembled as she opened it, and when she realized what it was, her composure shattered. "Please don't do this," she said, her voice cracking, the tears finally falling. "I made a mistake. One mistake. Doesn't our love mean anything?" "It meant everything," I said softly. "That's why it hurts so much. That's why I can't stay." She broke. Her shoulders heaved with sobs as she reached for me across the table. But I was already rising to my feet. I had mourned the death of our marriage long before this conversation. I had cried in the dark, screamed into my pillow, stared at the ceiling wondering how someone could throw everything away so easily. She missed her chance the moment she chose excitement over loyalty, a stranger over her vows, herself over us. As I walked to the door, she followed behind me, her voice desperate, begging, breaking. "Please, just one more chance. I'll spend the rest of my life making it right. But some damage doesn't heal. Some betrayals cut so deep that even time can't reach them." I paused with my hand on the doorknob and looked back at the woman I had once dreamed of growing old with. "You had one chance," I said quietly, "and you threw it away for a thrill." And with that, I stepped outside, leaving her behind in the cold silence she had created with her own choices.